December. December closes a very intense energetic year. And for many, it brings a real wave of liberation. A movement that helps you to realign in the middle of these turbulent times. Today I'm going to talk about the most important astrological shifts in December and what these energies mean for you personally. And we will also take a quick look at the country charts of the United States, Israel and Ukraine. But first, a warm welcome on my YouTube channel. My name is Silvia Suryodaya Group. I'm a spiritual medium, a healer and Vedic astrologer. And if you are interested in astrological energy updates, spiritual awakening or healing, feel free to subscribe to my free newsletter. I share insights every week, completely free of charge. Let's take a quick look back at November and the most important events. For the United States, with Mercury retrograde in the 12th house, I predicted that confidential documents or statements might suddenly become public. And that is exactly what happened. The release of more than 20,000 pages of Epstein documents, including emails and other material involving various public figures. This reflected this energy very clearly. And for the Ukraine, I also mentioned rising tension in diplomatic relationships, which showed up through the corruption scandal surrounding Zelensky's leadership. It involved a large kickback in the energy sector, worth an estimated $100 million. And for many of you personally, November may also have felt challenging. A lot came to the surface, especially themes that required closing an old chapter for good. It was a month full of depth and intensity, with conversations that could quickly become emotional or painful. But it also gave you the chance to face hidden feelings or topics you avoided for a long time. But now let's look at the important energetic shifts waiting for us in December. I've picked up what I believe are the three most important energetic shifts for you. And we will go through each one in detail in just a moment. The first is the full moon on December the 5th in Taurus. It falls in the same house where retrograde Uranus is currently transiting. It creates a strong field of liberation, breakthrough energy, and sudden clarity that many people will feel very clearly. At the same time, Jupiter moves back into Gemini on the same day. That's so important, bringing mental reorientation, re-evaluation, and a fresh perspective. The second important theme in December is the strong fire energy from the Sun and Mars, because at the beginning of the month, both are still in Scorpio, which brings deep transformation, like in November we felt so much, and emotional intense energies, and it's about shadow work and inner healing and a kind of energetic cleansing. But in the middle of December, it starts on the 7th with Mars. Mars moves into Sagittarius, and on the 15th, the Sun follows. And that completely shifts the energetic tone. Now it is more about ideology, it is about belief systems, it is about moral values, and the question of what your truth is. And the third major shift is the new moon on December the 20th in the lunar mansion Moola, and this brings also a phase of radical realignment, an energy that clears the path for a brand new cycle. And one thing is very important: always look at your personal chart. And I'm speaking about Vedic astrology, not Western astrology. You cannot use the Western birth horoscope here because the planets are usually in different signs. If you need a Vedic chart, you can order it anytime in our online shop. All right, let's take a closer look at the first energetic event, the full moon that takes place on December the 5th in the lunar mansion Rohini in the sign of Taurus, together with retrograde Uranus and in opposite of the Sun, Venus and Mars in Scorpio. And the moon in Taurus is in its full strength. The energy is about harmony, stability, comfort, beauty, and the longing for emotional closeness. Rohini touches our deepest desires and our need for connection. It is a moment where we clearly feel what nourishes us and what no longer aligns with you on an energetic level. Because this full moon happens together with retrograde Uranus, it can bring sudden breakthroughs, inner freedom, and strong moments of clarity, especially if your ascendant is in the sign of Taurus, or your moon is in the sign of Taurus, or on the opposite side in Scorpio, your ascendant or your moon. So you may feel pushed into a spontaneous shift, something you simply can't really understand or grasp, but you will see if this happens. And this can also be connected to family matters, to relationships, or even in how you view your life as a whole. Things that have been stuck for a long time can suddenly loosen or shift, often in surprising ways because of Uranus. And on the opposite side, in Scorpio, we have Venus, Sun and Mars. And this creates a strong tension between stability, Taurus wants stability, and transformation. Scorpio is about transformation. And Venus, Sun and Mars in Scorpio, they bring hidden emotions, deeper patterns and unresolved conflicts to the surface. This can show up inside of you, but also in the outside world, for example, through strong movements in financial markets or economic changes. At the same time, planet Jupiter moves back into Gemini, and the fact that this happens on the exact same day as the full moon makes this event much stronger. Jupiter is the planet of wisdom, of clarity, of direction and inner order. When it moves back into Gemini, we enter a phase of mental re-evaluation. Communication, decisions, learning, plans, contracts, and even your thinking itself come back up for review. We get a second chance, you can say, in understanding something, in clearing up something, or to realign a topic that began around May of this year, but wasn't fully resolved. Because Jupiter shifts on the same day as the full moon, we have a double boost. The full moon speaks about liberation, clarity, and emotional breakthroughs, and Jupiter adds new thoughts, new perspectives, and new ways forward. This means it's not only an emotional or energetic release, it's also a mental reset that influences your next steps. And if your ascendant or your moon is in Gemini or Sagittarius, this transit can feel especially strong. Many people will feel as if a new chapter is opening inside them around these days. And it's also very important to remember Jupiter was only briefly in Cancer for about 2 months, and now Jupiter moves back into Gemini, where it will stay until early June next year. So this is a big transit. And for Gemini or Sagittarius ascendants, or if your moon is in Gemini or in Sagittarius, Jupiter in the 1st or 7th house, this is very powerful. It brings not just only clarity, but also a real sense of optimism, confidence, and a feeling that life is opening up again. Many experience this as a fresh wave of motivation that points them toward growth, purpose, and a renewed sense of direction. Collectively, this can mean that old topics that were already in the media may return for another round. Discussions that started in the summer can come back, but this time with more urgency and more clarity. Countries and governments may come under pressure to rethink their positions or renegotiate agreements. And there can also be a sudden political shift, because a full moon together with Uranus often brings unexpected changes in direction. Overall, this period feels like something is moving again, even in areas that felt stuck before. Then in December, we have a strong fire energy as Mars moves into Sagittarius and the Sun follows. This brings up themes of ideology, beliefs, morality, principles, and the question, what is the right path? And this can lead to more conflicts around worldviews, political opinions, religion, values, and philosophies. Conversations can heat up quickly, boundaries become clearer, and issues that were simmering under the surface can suddenly break open. The Sun in Sagittarius brings more awareness of my truth, and Mars in Sagittarius adds the drive to defend that truth. So this period often feels like a fight for truth, a fight for direction, and a fight for meaning, on a personal level, but also collectively. And at the same time, it also gives us the chance to finally speak clearly about what we believe in, and what truly matters. And in this fiery atmosphere, the third major shift arrives. The new moon with extremely intense energy. The new moon takes place on December the 20th. And in the lunar mansion Moola, in the sign of Sagittarius, together with the Sun and Mars, and opposite retrograde Jupiter then in Gemini. Moola is one of the deepest and most transformative energies. It takes us to the root of the situation, to the core truth, and removes everything that is not stable or real. Moola shows us what is no longer sustainable. Anything that has been artificially held together breaks apart or becomes clearer than ever before. It is an energy that pulls out old structures so that space can open for something authentic, true, and future-oriented. This new moon stands with the Sun and Mars in Sagittarius, which makes the process even more direct. Sagittarius wants truth, clarity, purpose, and alignment. And Moola brings everything up from the depth that hasn't been honest or clear. And at the same time, Jupiter retrograde in Gemini reopens questions about decisions, perspectives, plans, and direction. A very important time. Because this new moon takes place in Sagittarius, it strongly highlights themes around worldview, beliefs, and the question of which right path you want to follow. Sagittarius is all about meaning, truth, and direction, and sometimes war. And this new moon challenges exactly those beliefs or visions that no longer fit who you are. If your ascendant or your moon is in Sagittarius or Gemini, December can be a month where you completely rethink your opinions or become much clearer about your moral and ethical values. Mars increases the urge to push your opinion through or to resolve something with full force, while the Sun brings up the themes of truth, integrity, and standing your ground. And because both the Sun and Mars in Sagittarius, this new moon has a very sharp confrontational energy. At the same time, this alignment gives you the chance to finally stand up for your own truth and to make decisions that have been overdue for a long time. And all of us will feel these energies in one way or another. Now let's move on to the country updates. For the United States, this is really fascinating because Uranus in the United States natal chart sits at 18.24 degrees in Taurus in the 6th house. And the full moon happens at 18.50 degree in Taurus, right on top of it, of Uranus, both in the lunar mansion Rohini. This is a very precise activation. Uranus always brings shocks, sudden changes, disruptions, and unexpected revelations. So, for the United States, this full moon can trigger important events. Maybe related to leadership. Maybe it's about financial stability, and also maybe about infrastructure, labor, health, or national security. And maybe we will see there sudden shifts or breaking developments. And Mars, Sun, and Venus opposite in Scorpio, they intensify these energies and can show up as suddenly unexpected events. So we will see how this will play out. But this can really hit a breaking point. Then we have the new moon in Sagittarius, falling in the 1st house of the United States natal chart, right near the ascendant. And this is also a very strong indicator of a national reset or a shift in direction, something new beginning, quietly. Sagittarius and also Mars indicates ideological conflicts, moral battles, debates about truth and integrity, and questions of leadership. And Moola, where this happens, intensifies these even more. It removes what is rotten at the root, so a new direction can emerge. This can show up as revelations and also political shocks, legal escalations, or shifts in foreign policy. And what makes this new moon even more significant is in the opposite sign of the United States natal chart, we have in Gemini Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and the Sun. And this is really important and speaks about the national identity, and it speaks about narratives, and it speaks about legal matters, it speaks about the media and communication and the public opinion and diplomacy and international relationships. So this activation can trigger a lot of heated political debates, strong media polarization, legal battles, conflict with partner nations, or intensified diplomatic pressure. Taken together, these two December shifts show the United States that they are moving into a period of major internal and external realignment, with revelations, ideological clashes, and significant decisions shaping the national direction. Let's take a short look for Ukraine. For Ukraine, the full moon falls in the 5th house of Taurus, which often points to strategic turning points, new decisions, or shifts in the dynamics of the war. The opposition to the Sun, Mars, and Venus in the 11th house, where they are now in transit, this shows that international partners and supporters may play a larger role or announce new developments. Mars aspecting Ketu in the 6th house can also indicate short-term tension or unexpected military maneuvers. The new moon in the 12th house in Sagittarius, together with Mars and Rahu and retrograde Neptune and retrograde Uranus, shows that a lot is happening behind the scenes, out of public view. This can relate to hidden decisions, secret agreements, or strategic reorganization. Overall, December for Ukraine points more toward hidden developments and tactical adjustments, less visible but very important for the long-term outcome. For Israel, the full moon in Taurus falls in the 9th house, the house of religion, worldviews, and international relations, law, morality, and higher principles. In the natal chart of Israel, the Sun and Mercury are located there, and Mercury is especially important because it rules both the 1st house, this is the identity of the country, and the 10th house, government, leadership, global standing. The full moon at 18 degrees sits very close to Israel's natal Mercury at 17 degrees. Which strongly activates political decisions, government responsibility, international communication, and legal questions. Debates about moral issues, religious matters, or legal boundaries can intensify during this time. The new moon on December the 20th falls in the 4th house in Sagittarius. And this house is the house of homeland, population, inner security, national stability, and emotional foundations. What makes this extremely significant is that retrograde Jupiter in Israel's natal chart sits at 4.30 degrees in the same house, while the new moon happens at 4 degrees in Moola. Almost an exact conjunction. This indicates a deep inner reset connected to the country's foundation, national security, public resources, population issues, stability, and fundamental political decisions. Mars is also in the 4th house, which can show inner pressure, conflict, and security-related actions. And opposite in Gemini, Israel's natal Uranus, Venus, and the shadow aspects Gulika and Mandi are activated. This means that this new moon lights up the axis of inner security versus international relations and communication. Overall, this configuration shows a month of significant inner and outer tension for Israel. New decisions around security and foreign relations, and a deep realignment at the roots of the country, especially around ethical, moral, or even religious themes from the past. That was my astrological update for December, and with it we close a very intense, fast, and eventful year of 2025. I've already created an astrological forecast for 2026. Feel free to check it out, and it's just a general overview of what's coming, but it gives you a good sense of the bigger themes. And subscribe to my channel. I share here every month important updates, and in my shorts you get information about the daily energies. And overall, I see many positive new beginnings. Like I spoke last month, that we can already feel this clear shift in direction. Even if the chaos in the outer world and our own inner processes make it challenging at times to hold a higher perspective. In December, I see a continuation of this liberating momentum, a wave of energy that helps us break free. And even though the month brings intensity, it serves a purpose. It shows us very clearly what we no longer want. Many people feel that in a phase like this, decisions suddenly become easier and there is more courage to finally take the steps that have been waiting for a long time. And that's the positive part. Something opens up. Paths that were blocked before become visible again. And if you want deeper insights, I also go into specific country charts inside my membership, if you are interested. And you can also receive a PDF with the energy forecast for all 12 ascendants in my membership for the month of December. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. And never, never, never forget, I love you.